I'm back. I think this is going to be the last one because I'm kind of tired. I think this is it. Can you guys see the cloud? Look, it's a cloud up there. I don't know what that is. What is that? Is that on the camera? In the camera? It might be a ghost. Well, you better be a nice one. You know, that's all I ask. But isn't that weird? That's so weird. It's like a cloud, and I keep looking back, and I don't see anything that could possibly be making that. So I don't know. I'm not scared of stuff like that. I don't. I do believe that there are spirits that are walking about, that maybe have lost their way or something like that. Some of them are good, but I have enough talismans and Bibles and stuff in here to keep any creepy thing away. But I just think that's really weird. I can't figure out where it's coming from. It must be reflecting. There's nothing over there for it to be reflecting from, but I guess it must be just from probably just from the one light to something. But it's just weird. I just noticed it. I'm like, what the devil is that? But I was going. This is gonna be the last one because I'm tired. It's time for my dinner. I think the last thing I was talking about was what would be the catalyst that's gonna change my. Or maybe it's just that the allies are coming and he knows this is it. you know, that he decides that he's gonna go back to Berlin and try to do what he's what he can. He's gonna go back basically and try to get down in the bunker. Of course, he doesn't. Maybe he does know that the powers that be are down in the bunker by now. Maybe he does know this. Um, Another point that I wanted to get on to was Madame always is, on my female character to, meet a German officer, flirt back with one of them because of course they're flirting with her and they want her, but she don't want no parts of them. And Madame is constantly at her. Look, pick somebody. Who cares if you like him? What difference does it make? We're trying to get information. And what? Uh, and she when they go away, like when they go away, when the main character and her officer go away and have their little rendezvous, their little tete-a-tetes or whatever it is they having, that Madame is constantly going, where what did he say? Did he say anything about where's his duty station? What's going on? Why is he, why? Because like, okay, they can't see each other. He'll tell her something like, well, I have business to take care of. I'll see you next 2 weeks from now and we'll go away or something. And this kind of tears my character apart because she, on her days off, she goes out to the orphanage where she has the children hidden. And this kind of um, uh, mashes into her time, meshes into her, um, interferes in her time with her actually with her daughter. But, she can't tell him that, so what she tries to do is just to, um, she's just pulled, so tight, she's pulled so taut that, I don't know, but I can't figure out how to make it explode. I don't know. Um, I'm thinking of actually sending her on a mission. Actually having her, instead of wearing a pink flower on the left side of her head, and that's what the kind of thing she does in the resistance. She resists without resisting. And instead of that, maybe I would have an imperative that she actually go on a mission where people actually get hurt. But see, the only thing about that though, I can write death scenes and stuff like that, but I don't really have that massacre drawing like that, drawing out that mask. I'm more, my forte is more emotions and the complicated the lives that people live and what drives them and what makes them, the person that they are, what or even the person that they aren't. Because you would think that a woman in her position, well, that's the, that's the complication in it, is that she meets this man, and they have this intense little tete-a-tete in Switzerland, and then she finds out he isn't who she wants him to be. And um part of her character shows that once she gets over the shock, you know her first kind of emotion, is that, well, not that this is what he is, it's that he's fooled her, and now he's not going to be her man. She's thinking, oh, he's going to come and we're going to elope and go somewhere where the war isn't bothering us, and this is going to be my very own man. I'm not going to have to be with a married man, has to go home. We sleep together in the afternoon so he can go home at night with have dinner with his wife. And her bubble gets burst, like on that level, like just on a girl, like I always call girly stuff, just on a girl level, that, oh, and when he comes into the cafe that night, and she that day afternoon, and she finds out who he really is, and she's angry and she runs away from him. The part of the anger, and it's not so much she fears him then, but it's more of disappointment and anger, on a man woman level. You know what I mean? Now she comes later on, okay, because she knows the kind of things that SS do. She fears that part of him, but the part of him that she's actually angry with, if this makes any sense, the part of him that she's angry with is just this guy she's been writing to, this guy she now likes. This guy she really cares about. Like these people, well, writing letters is more intimate than email, but you see these people who fall in love over the internet, never seen each other, never ever seen each other, and they are in love, and I'm like, what? You don't know who that is. They don't show the right picture. That's why I would never internet date. If you guys ever hear me say, well, I know a class of 2115, I'll be a ghost, like whatever that is up there by the time you guys read this, see this. But I would never go on. I would never be that desperate. I would never go online looking for somebody, because number one, that's not their picture, and number two, if they're all that great, which I'm great, I mean, I'm pretty smart. I look pretty good, for my age. I exercise, try to do the right things. I'm smart. I've traveled. I, sophisticated to a point. Yeah, and I'm single, but I'm not online looking for something. No, I mean, it's to me that's just crazy. That's just crazy. I cannot get a grip. I can't. Uh, I don't know, but even what the word is, I can't compute typing to somebody, and you know but now they write to each other, which writing is different. Writing is completely different than sitting and typing. I you know and also online, these people, these guys, they just want sex. They don't want to date anybody, and that's the hard thing, because especially somebody my age, we don't do that no more. Now, I've had my whole moments, trust me, like anybody else. I'm a single woman. I've lived a single woman's life. I've had my moments, heaven knows. But these guys, it just seems like to me nowadays, they don't want to date. They don't want any, and I think that's why I'm such a romantic, and why I write romance, and why I'm so romantic, is because these guys, I mean, not to generalize men, but why should they bother taking me out to dinner and have to wait till the third date, or whatever my rule is, or a month of dating, or whenever, before the first time we have sex, when they can, type three lines to somebody and go meet them and have sex? I mean, you know, that's human nature. The less amount of energy that you can possibly emit to get what you want. You know, and so they're not going to be bothered with trying to date anybody. But I still hold hope. And I think that is a lot of what I've never been no married man, but I think that's a lot of what my World War II girl, my character is feeling this romantic. She's met this man, and so she has this romantic image of him because she met him and they never had sex, and he was after her, and she kept turning him off, and they had these romantic walks, and they talked, and then they exchanged these letters for over 2 years, and you know and she has this romantic notion of what's going to happen now, and he shows up and isn't at all what she um expects, and she doesn't get exactly what she expects. On the other hand, he at first, I think I said before, just wanted to know a notch on his boot heel. Yeah, I had one of them. That kind of thing. And when he really gets to know her and realize her, who she is, how intelligent she is, how well she, writes her letters, and even when they're walking around and like in Switzerland going for walks, and he takes her to concerts and stuff like that, and he's like, and because he says himself, well, he thinks this himself, that she was the only woman he ever wanted, that he didn't have, that wasn't on her back in 24 hours. And even the fact that he comes to her to tell her he's leaving at 4:20 in the morning, um, is a sign that he likes her, that there's something else there, and he gives her his the address, and for her to write him, and they communicate, back and forth, even though there's a war going on. Um, Part of the struggle was to not forget about the war, not put it on a back burner in any way, but not let my character's life be, I mean, even though her life is turned upside down, you know, even though her lover is gone, possibly dead. She's got these two extra kids to take care of. She's got all this, all her um 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 espionage going on, all that kind of stuff. And she she still lives a certain lifestyle, put it that way. And I think the woman and the man, when the husband and the wife, when they go to the camp, the difference between the way this woman lived before to what she's going through at the camp. I mean, this is a woman that never lifted a hand. She never did anything. She never did any work. She never scrubbed anything. She was never hungry. All these things. And I'm thinking how the camp stuff starts, um gonna make them arriving at the railroad. They were in cattle cars, and so they would just drive up, and what they would do, unlike the movies, like we see in the movies, what they would do is wait till night. See, it was all the illusion that there were more guards than they were. See, if the people had known how few people actually were guarding them, see, that's what happened at Sobibor. They realized, hey, it's 13 of them, what, we can get the heck up out of here. But what they would do is they would, even if the trains arrived and it was still daylight, they just sit there. They'd make them sit there till it was dark, and in that way they could turn spotlights on them, and dogs barking and people running, and cause a lot of confusion, separate families immediately, cause a lot of confusion, so people wouldn't have time to think. That's going to be very interesting to write, that feeling of of um, fear, confusion, that feeling of not of being out of control, of not knowing, um, what's going on, what that that crazy feeling. Again, another ACOA feeling phenomenon, of what the devil's going on now, that feeling, oh my god, oh, what's going on now, and this being normal. this being normal, that you're always in confusion and there's always something going on and you got to walk on eggshells and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to draw on that to write the camp stuff. Now, the other stuff in Paris, I'll just draw on my romantic part and what I know about history and what I know about women like her and what I might have done, in the same position. And that's what I asked myself when I first thought about the story. I thought, what would I have done? What would I, what would I have done? What would I have done? And I can't imagine finding something out like that about a man that I liked. I can't imagine, that, finding that out. And I think I can get more in touch with the I have I have the negative emotions to write the camp stuff. Put it that way. I got the romantic notions to write the stuff that's going on in Paris, and then I've got the romantic. I mean, then I've got that fear and confusion and helpless craziness that I can use for the camp. I think I'm going to have them arrive. I think that's how I'm going to have them. Then they would immediately separate men and women with children went one way, and men over 16 that could be worked to death went another way, and women who could be worked to death went another way. So, and I've seen that scene a million times watching movies. So I think that's going to be one of the. Um, Wait a minute, I got to do my TV. It turns off by itself after 4 hours. It this little thing comes up and says, if you're still watching, click OK. But see, that's why at night when I fall asleep listening to uh, DVD, if I forget to set the timer, I know it's going to cut itself off at in 4 hours. But anyway, getting back to that, to getting in touch with that thing. And I think a lot of writers are afraid to get in touch with those feelings of, you know, that craziness, that laying in the bed, listening to your parents fight, that kind of, those feelings, that kind of, you walk in the room and, get cussed out because you walked in the room, that kind of thing, kind of cruelty, that people experience. Um, that's where I tapped into Autumn with my male villain, was that jealousy, of looking at the kids that had clothes and had nice parents and had, all the great, advantages that I thought, that I didn't have, but little did I know. A lot of those people were miserable. A lot of those people were going through things I didn't have to go through. And but I think that's part of it, that envy he felt, that here's this privileged woman, she's black like him, but she's been privileged for so long that she's forgotten, for, like men always say, forgot where you came from, that kind of thing. um I think what the only criticism I can see in the second book, well, I see a whole lot. But the main criticism I think people are going to think is, no, that couldn't have happened. But what did Thomas Harding say? While much is too crazy to be believed. I'm paraphrasing. Nothing is too crazy to have happened. You know. So, and I think that's going to be the quote in the front of my book. In the front of Autumn, the quote is going to be from Elie Wiesel. Um, Write only what you can write. I can't remember the rest of it, but that basically what it's saying, you have to write the book you can write. That's the only book you can write. So, with that said, on that cheery note, I will say goodbye to my ghosts. I keep forgetting everything is backwards. If you better be a good one, and you better not act up, and you better not scare me. And I am going to have my dinner, and then I'm going to post my um videos, put one on Facebook. I think I'm gonna put the second one on Facebook. I think that was the one that I read those lines from. So I think that's the one I'm gonna put up. So for now, my friends, good night.